discussed about the matrix multiplication algorithm. That is a simple parallel matrix multiplication algorithm, and then we have seen the that is the Canon's matrix multiplication algorithm. Okay, so both algorithms are somewhat equivalent or similar. Only one change is there, that is as per as the broadcasting of the that is the block limits are concerned. Okay, in case of the you can say the simple parallel algorithm, you are using the that all-to-all broadcasting technique or one-to-all broadcasting technique as per your requirement. And in case of the Canon's algorithm, initially you are using the that is the step-by-step shifting of the block elements, or sorry, step-by-step shifting of the blocks of the two matrices. If you see there, that is the matrix A block and matrix B blocks. If you are dividing your matrix into multiple blocks, so per block one processor will perform the computation there. If you see that kind of example we have seen yesterday, and how that is the matrix A blocks are shifted towards the left in one first shift by one position, in second step by two position, third step by three position, likewise. And in case of that is the row wise, and in case of the second matrix blocks, they are shifted up by one position column wise, if you see there. And in first step, that is the first row will be that is the kept unchanged, and in matrix A, and in case of matrix B, that is the first column of the matrix B or the blocks of the matrix B will be kept constant there, if you see there. Okay, and then you are performing the step-by-step block multiplication on the local blocks of, for example, A00, B00, likewise, and you are storing its intermediate result into C00. Similarly, B01 and sorry, A01 and B01, and storing its result into C01, likewise. And finally, in last step, you are accumulating that result, okay, using the reduction operation in a on a same or a single processor. And generally, we are considering one column, that is the rightmost column, for storing the result, row-wise result, if you see that. So that kind of multiplication, matrix multiplication, that is the parallel matrix multiplication algorithm we have discussed yesterday. So there might be the question that is the explain that is the parallel matrix multiplication algorithm with the suitable example. Okay, so you can give the numerical example or give the example which I explained yesterday, but you have to show it step by step there. That was shown in diagram. Okay, or question might be there, explain the Canon's algorithm for parallel matrix multiplication. Okay, so you have to answer it properly there, if you see that. So in last lecture we have finished that particular unit number 5, sorry, unit number 4. So today we'll start the our next unit, that is the unit number 5. So unit number 5 contains actually the syllabus. That syllabus is given here, that is syllabus of unit number 5. Okay, so if you see there, unit number 5 contains the generally the sorting algorithms and the searching algorithms, if you see that. So content of syllabus is shown here. First topic will be issues in sorting on parallel computer. We'll discuss this topic today. Then bubble sort and its variants. Okay, that is the serial or sequential bubble sort algorithm, its complexity, then how we can convert that algorithm into the its parallel version. That kind of discussion will be there. Then we'll see the quick sort algorithm and how we can parallelize the quick sort algorithm, or how we can convert this simple or sequential quick sort algorithm into parallel quick sort algorithm, and different approaches we will see. Then we'll discuss about the searching algorithms, that is all pairs shortest path, then algorithms for sparse graph, then parallel depth first search and parallel breadth first search. So these algorithms will be discussed in this unit number 5. So as far as the agenda of today's lecture is concerned, we will see that is syllabus content of unit number 5, then issues in sorting on parallel computers and sorting networks we'll discuss, and we'll discuss about the bubble sort also. So this is syllabus of unit number 5 and its content as discussed. So topic overview, that is same will be there. So this is the general content of the sorting algorithms, issues in sorting on parallel computers, then bubble sort and its variants, quick sort and parallelizing quick sort algorithm. So this is the major content from the sorting topic. If you see there, for searching, we will see the another slide there. Okay. So sorting overview or issues. If you see there, so issues in sorting on parallel computers. So there are different issues regarding the sorting on parallel computers. If you say that, because as far as the serial algorithms are concerned, sorting algorithms are concerned, those are working on a single processor. So all elements, that is the input elements, will be in the local memory of that processor. If you see that on which machine it working. But in case of the parallel algorithm, there are multiple processing elements or processors. In that case, so elements will be distributed in the local memories of the different processors, and this processor may be the part of same system, or they may be the part of the, you can say, the distributed system. If you see there, they are connected over the network. If you see there, this kind of network topologies we already discussed or discussing from first unit. Okay, if you see there, like the ring topology, mesh topology, hypercube topology. Okay, that kind of topologies we have seen. So where input and output sequences of the elements are stored there. So in case of the smaller size elements, okay, 1000 to 1000, or you can say the 100 to 100, 1000 to 1000, it's okay. You can store in local memory of your processor. Okay, but what is about that is the numbers or the data in form of the big data. If you see there, so big data, this might be the data of particular, you can say the company, like the Amazon.com. So Amazon.com maintaining the customer IDs and their names, okay, and numbers in database. So that will be the, there may be the billions of, or you can say millions of records may be there. If you see there, so how that type of, you can say the, you can see the sequences will be sorted there. If you see there, so there will be the quotient in your mind. So that will not happen on a single processor or single machine. Okay, so in that case, you have to use the parallel algorithm. Okay, so in that case, a number of processing elements or processors will be there, and a number of machines on which they are working, and these input sequences are distributed among these multiple machines or the processors. If you see there, and they are working on their available data, and one processor can communicate with other by the different mechanism, that is the compare and exchange mechanism they can use. That is if there are different ways of you can see the sequences that particular processor having. If you see that, they might have the single element, or they might have the you can say the group of elements, or having the specific sequence there. If you see there, so in that case, every machine in that network, parallel network, will be given a specific ID starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And so each machine will have the data. Okay, if you see there, so data on machine 0 will have the sequence, that is the numbers less than the sequence on machine number 1, and machine number 1 will have the sequence which is less than the sequence available on machine number 3, and so on. If you see that, so if on machine number 0, sequence having the numbers greater than that is the sequences available on machine number 1, in that case they can make the compare and exchange, you can see the operation there. If you see that, and they can exchange their sequences, and they can perform the comparison among their elements, and they can sort their sequences again, and then again exchange the sorted sequences, if you see there. And in this case also, that lower ID element will keep only the half part of those elements, that is the which are less than the element available on the processor number 1, and so on, if you see that. Similarly, 2 will compare with 3, 3 will 4, and 4 with 5, and so on. That kind of you can see the sequences you need to consider. So these are the sorting issues in case of the parallel computers, if you see there, where the input and output sequences are stored. So you should remember this one. In case of the parallel networks, these input sequence and output sequences will be stored in a internal, you can say, the local memories of the respective processor, if you see there. Okay, so if they want to compare numbers from one processor with another processor, in that case they have to perform the compare and exchange operation there, if you see there. So then another the sorting can be for non-comparison based, if you see there. So there might be the doubt in your mind, that is the sorting can be performed on a comparison based technique, and as well as the non-comparison based technique also, if you see that. But whichever sorting algorithms we are going to see in our syllabus, they are totally comparison based sorting algorithms, which are working on the compare and exchange operation, if you see there. So the fundamental operation of comparison based sorting is compare and exchange. You should know that one. They are comparing elements in available sequence, and they can exchange. That is, if first element is greater than second, then need to exchange in order to maintain that sequence in a decreasing order of numbers, or in case of the increasing order of numbers, you can compare first with second. If first is less than second, then you need to exchange. Likewise, if you see that. And you have to remember here, this most important point is here, lower bound on any sorting algorithm. I am talking about any sorting algorithm, okay, which is using the comparison based sorting technique of n numbers or n elements. Okay, so its lower bound will be theta of n log n. Remember this one, the lower bound on any comparison based sort of n numbers is theta of n log n. So there may be the from this slide there may be the questions in your Google Sheet also, if you see that. Okay, for filling the attendance. So we focus here on comparison based sorting algorithms only in our syllabus. So these are the sorting issues we are discussed in current slide. So sorting issues are nothing but where the input and output sequences are stored, you can see that. And these are the issues in sorting on parallel computers also, if you see that. Then same is continued here. What is parallel sorted sequence, and where are the input and output list are stored? This is just discussed. Okay. Then we assume that the input and output list are distributed. So input and output list can be stored in a local memory of that processing element or processor, or it may be distributed over the you can say the multiple machines. Okay. Which are connected over the network. Okay, in case of the parallel, we can say the network, you can see that, and each machine having its own internal memory, so those sequences will be stored in its local memory. Okay, so what will be the size of that input sequence or output sequence? Okay, so you have to remember here, if there are 100 elements as an input, in that case you can divide that is the 100 as a divided by number of processing element. For example, 10. If n equal to 100 and p equal to 10, so n by p is equal to 100 by p. So that is 100 by 10. So number of elements will be there. You can say that 10 elements per processing element or processor will be there. So in or on each processor, or in its internal memory, there will be the sequence of 10 elements, if you see there. And they will, and processors will be provided IDs starting from 0. That is the P0 to you can say the P9. Total 10 processors will be there in our example, if you see there. Okay, and you have to remember here P0 will have the elements or a sequence, okay, which is less than the sequence available on P1, and P1 having the sequence, so which is less than the sequence available on P3. Okay, if it is not, then you need to exchange, compare, and you can say the exchange the sequences among these two processing element or processor, P0 and P1. Okay, and they have to sort this, they have to merge this list, and they have to compare the elements. If you see there using the you can say the sorting, we have studied, that is a local sorting algorithm, like the sequential algorithm, if you see there. And they have to arrange those elements either in ascending order or descending order. Okay, in case of the you can say the ascending order, that is the P0 will have the sequence which is less than the P1, and P1 will have the sequence which is less than the P2, and so on. So this kind of example we have taken here. Okay, the sorted list is partitioned with the property that each partition list is stored and each element in processor Pi's list is less than that in Pj's list if I less than j. So I is the processor ID and j for first processor, okay, and j is the processor ID for the second processor, if you see that. So Pi is that is the sequence of input or the list is less than that in Pj's list, if you see that. If it is not, then they have to exchange their list, okay, and they have to merge it, and they have to sort those sequences, and then after sorting, they have to again that is the Pi will keep first 50% element, and Pj will keep the next 50% element, okay, and you have to follow this criteria there, that is the Pi having the element sequence which is less than the Pj. So same is given here, sorting, parallel, compare and exchange operation, if you see that. So in we have to consider here example, that is the each processor having the, that is the one element per processor we have considered here. Okay, if you see that two processors we have considered here, Pi and Pj. So here also you are performing the parallel compare and exchange operation, if you see there. Pi having the element Ai and Pj having the element Aj, if you see there. So in step 1, we can perform the compare and exchange operation so that those elements will be exchanged among Pi and Pj. So Pi will also having the both elements Ai and Aj after exchange, and Pj will also having the element Aj and Ai in step 2, you can see. And in step 3, that is the Pi will merge those two elements, and will find out the minimum of those two, okay, Ai and Aj, and Pj will perform the merge operation, and it will find out the merge of Ai and Aj, okay, and whatever that is the minimum element will be there in min of Ai Aj, that will be stored as a local sequence in Pi's memory, and whatever merged elements are there in case of the Pj, okay, that will be stored in the local memory of the processor Pj, if you see there. So you can read that statement is also added here, the parallel compare exchange operation processes Pi and Pj. So you have to remember here I having ID less than the j. Pi is the P1 and P0, and Pj is the P1 in our case. Send their elements to each other. Process Pi keeps min of Ai Aj, that is the both elements it will compare, and out of them it will find out the minimum element, and Pj keeps merge of Ai Aj, if you see there. So Pi min will be stored in the internal memory of the Pi, that is the first processor, and merged element will be stored in a internal memory of Pj, that is the second processor. Okay, so in this way, you can say the sorting using the compare and exchange operation works there. If you see there for the one element per processing element, if there are more than one element per processor, or the sequence of elements are there, for example, PI having the 5 element and PJ also having the another 5 elements. In that case, also you have to perform the same operations, but in that case, that is the list from the both processors will be merged there, and locally they will perform the sorting operation, and both processor will sort those elements in a either ascending order or descending order as per your requirement, and finally they will exchange the sorted element, so that PI will keep the half part, okay, which is less than the that is the half part which is maintained by the another processor, that is the PJ. So same is I think discussed here. That type of sorting is also called as the compare split operation. If you see that, okay, that is each processing element having the more than one element, or there are more than one element per processor. So you can we will discuss this basic in this current slide. So what is the parallel counterpart to a sequential comparator? So for compare and exchange means you are using their one hardware, that is the comparator. If you see there, you might have studied in DELT that kind of logic. So if each processor has one element, the compare exchange operation stores the smaller element at the processor with smaller ID, and that is larger element with that processor having the larger ID. If you see there, and this can be done in TS plus TW time. So total time required for this one is TS plus TW. TS is nothing but the startup time, and TW means forward transfer time again. So this example we have seen in last slide. Then if we have more than one element per processor, we call this operation a compare split operation. And in this case, we will assume each of two processors have n by p elements. We have already discussed this kind of example. N by p means if there are 100 and 10 number of processors, in that case 100 by p, so per processor there will be the 10 elements. That kind of example we have discussed, but the same is added here. So after the compare split operation, the smaller n by p elements are at processor PI, and the larger n by p elements at PJ, where I less than j. So this is also discussed. That is the in case of the compare split operation, or the processor per processor elements are more than one. In that case, n by p number of elements will be on each processing element. In this case, we have considered two processor PI and PJ, or P0 and P1. So whatever elements are on PI machine, if you see there, or a processing element PI, those will be you can say the smaller than the elements available on a processor or processing element PJ, if you see there, because I is less than j. Okay, I may be 0, j may be 1. If you see there, it is indicating the processor ID. If you see there, and time for a compare split operation is TS plus TWN divided by P. If you see that, the TS will be same, but TW will change because there are n by p number of elements. In case of the previous example, that is the one element per processing element. In that case, that is the TW into 1. That's why its value is TW itself. Okay, that is the total time required is TS plus TW. TS plus TW into 1 means that is TS plus TW. But in case of the compare split operation, or the that is more than one element per processing element, in that case, if you see there, TS plus TW into n by p elements. In that case, that formula will change here. Okay, and this is assuming that the two partial lists were initially sorted, and here we have assumed that the both lists which are available on processing element 1 and processing element number 2, both sequences or list are in sorted order. We have assumed here. If they are not in sorted order, you need to exchange those lists and merge those lists, and then you have to perform the local sorting. You can say either using the bubble sort or the you can say the quick sort algorithm you can use there, if you see there. And then we can exchange those elements. Okay, that is the 50% will be kept on first processor and 50% on a next processor. And here also you have to that is the condition should be satisfied, that is the elements on processor P0, okay, they have the values less than the elements available on processor number 1, if you say that, or vice versa. So same example is illustrated here, I think, if you see that sorting, that is parallel compare split operation, or it is also called as the sorting. In sorting case, in which there are more than one element per processing element, if you see that. So PA and PJ, we are considered here only two processors. I may be 0, J may be 1. P0 and P1. We can consider in step 1. If you see that on both processing elements PA and PJ, there are total 5 elements. Okay, and if you see there, it is not satisfying criteria, that is the all elements or the sequence which is available in internal memory of PI is less than that is the sequence available in internal memory of PJ, because PJ is having ID greater than PI. So it should satisfy that criteria, but it is not satisfying. That's why you need to exchange the sequences, which is shown in step 2. So both processor will have the both sequences here. So in that case, both processor will merge those sequences. That is shown in step 3, if you see that. And after merging, they will perform that is compare operation, compare and exchange operation. Okay, with the neighboring elements in their local sequences, using the particular you can say algorithmic technique. If you see that might be the serial bubble sort or the quick sort, that kind of technique can be followed there, if you see that. And similarly, PJ is performing local sorting. Okay, so those both lists will be sorted. Okay, and in next step, that is the PI will keep only the 50% elements, if you see there, which are lower than the PJ. PJ will keep the 50% elements which are greater than the PI sequence, if you see there. So in this way, they are maintaining the you can see the sorted list of elements or sequences there, if you see there, in their internal memories. So there we have seen two cases here. First one is the one element per processor, and second one, it is also called a parallel compare split operation, or more than one element per processing element or processor, if you see there. Okay, so I think today we'll stop here. Sorting networks we'll discuss in next lecture. Okay, it is already 2:05. Let's see that. So if you have any query, you can discuss.